Each morning, you are standing in a doorway you often forget you have. Before the messages, before the news, before the rush and the self-criticism, there is a tiny silent space where your mind is soft and open and listening. In that space, you are not behind, you are not late, you are not failing, you are simply waking up. I want you to see that first moment not as a test, but as fertile, moist soil. Whatever you drop into that soil will quietly grow throughout the day. If the first thing you drop in is panic, pressure, comparison, your mind will try to protect you by building a whole day around those feelings. If the first thing you drop in is a little softness, a little gentleness, a little "good morning, my dear," your mind will take that as the pattern instead. So before we talk about changing habits, I want to take your hand and help you understand them, because you cannot heal what you are busy hating. Most people wake up and immediately think, "What's wrong? What do I have to fix? What did I not do yesterday?" And then they blame themselves for feeling tired and heavy. I want you to hear me very clearly. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not broken. Your brain simply learned an old way of keeping you company. Habits are not moral verdicts. They are just repeated paths. Your nervous system has walked many, many times. The brain loves efficiency. When it finds a path that takes you from a tiny, uncomfortable feeling to a tiny bit of relief, it remembers it. That is all. So in the morning, the habit loop is very simple. The trigger might be the instant you open your eyes and feel a little emptiness, or the sight of your phone glowing on the nightstand, or that faint flutter of worry in your chest. The behavior is whatever you've practiced: grabbing the phone, scrolling, checking messages, rushing out of bed, making a mental list of all your failures, flooding your body with caffeine before you've given it water or air. And the reward is not as bad as you think it is. For a few seconds, you feel plugged in, or distracted, or in control, or at least not alone. The brain says, "Ah, so when we feel this little morning emptiness, we do this thing, and it feels less scary for a moment. Good, we'll do that again tomorrow." Isn't it interesting that the very habits you call bad are often clumsy attempts to soothe yourself? You are not trying to ruin your day. You are, in a very childlike way, trying to feel a little less lost for just a moment. My darling, your habits are not evidence that you are a failure. They are evidence that you are a fast learner. You learned very quickly that the phone gives you a little hit of stimulation, that rushing gives you the illusion of being on top of things, that criticizing yourself feels like you are at least doing something about your life. So your nervous system repeats it. Trigger, behavior, reward. Over and over. There is nothing wrong with you for having this loop. Every human being has it. What we are going to do together is not punish you for having a loop, but gently, patiently change what counts as a reward. If you look closely, you will see that the reward most of your morning habits give you is very short-lived. The scroll makes you feel connected for 30 seconds and then emptier. The self-criticism makes you feel disciplined for a moment and then more ashamed. The instant rush makes you feel productive for a minute and then more scattered. It's like eating sugar when what your body really needs is nourishment. You don't need to yell at yourself for eating sugar. You need to understand that your system is craving something and it's picking the quickest option it knows. So I want you to begin saying to yourself in the morning, very softly, I see you, habit. You were trying to help me feel less afraid. Thank you. And now I am willing to learn a kinder way. Notice the shift there. We are not saying, I'm horrible. I ruined the morning again. We are saying, I understand why I did this, and I am open to another choice. The mind is much more willing to change when it feels understood than when it feels attacked. If every morning you scold yourself, why did you grab the phone again? Why are you so weak? Why can't you just get up and be perfect? Then the habit loop tightens. The trigger becomes not only the emptiness of waking up, but also the fear of your own judgment. You wake up, and before anything else, your body braces for your own harsh voice. Of course you reach for distractions. Of course you rush. You are trying to outrun yourself. So we begin here. Instead of turning the morning into a courtroom where you are always on trial, I want you to turn it into a small, safe garden where you are learning. You can say, this is not a test, this is practice. I am practicing a new way to begin my day. Can you feel how that softens the pressure? Now, many people try to change their habits by using the same energy that created the problem. They wake up one day and say, from tomorrow, no phone, no coffee, no negative thought, I will be perfect. That is not change. That is punishment in a shiny new outfit. Your brain hears that and thinks, oh, this sounds terrifying. We will rebel soon. Sustainable change does not come from harshness. It comes from offering the brain a better reward. If the only options your system knows are jittery stimulation or cold emptiness, it will keep picking stimulation. But what if you introduce soft safety? What if, when you wake up and feel that familiar little ache or flutter of anxiety, instead of reaching for the old habit, you gave yourself something that feels genuinely good, even if it's very small? A slower breath, a hand on your heart, a kind sentence, a sip of water before the coffee, a moment of looking out the window and whispering, all is well. I am safe in this moment. You see, my dear, the brain does not cling to bad habits because they are bad. It clings to them because they are the only route it knows to relief. When you give it a new route that is both relieving and gentle, it happily learns that too. It will take a little repetition, of course. Habits are not broken by force. They are replaced by practice. But each time you choose a softer reward, the loop changes shape. The trigger, waking up, seeing the phone, feeling the emptiness, stays the same. The behavior shifts. Instead of diving straight into the old pattern, you pause for one breath. You remember, my mornings are soft now. You place a hand on your chest. You speak kindly to yourself, and the reward deepens. Instead of 30 seconds of anxious control, you get a few moments of real peace. You are teaching your system that a gentle beginning feels better than a frantic one. Over time, the loop becomes trigger, gentle practice, real peace. So I want you to release the phrase, I have terrible morning habits, and replace it with, I am learning new ways to comfort myself in the morning. Isn't that kinder? One sentence locks you into shame. The other invites you into growth. Your morning is not a battlefield where you either win or lose. It is a training ground where you are allowed to wobble, to fall back, and to try again. On some days, you will remember and choose softness. On other days, you will wake up and find yourself halfway through an old pattern before you notice. That is all right. The moment you notice, you can still pause, still breathe, still add a gentle new step. Even at 10 a.m., even at noon, you can say, I choose a new loop now. In a little while, we will talk together about 5 specific morning habits that quietly drain your mind and how I've lovingly stepped away from each of them. But I didn't do it by bullying myself out of them. I did it by understanding why they were there, by thanking the part of me that was trying to cope, and by offering her something calmer and truer. I want the same for you. No more war with your mornings. No more war with your mind. Just a curious, compassionate noticing. Oh, this is the old loop, and I am willing to learn a new one. From that gentle foundation, we can now begin to look, one by one, at the habits I chose to quit, not because I was bad, but because I was ready for a softer way to begin my day. This may be hard to hear, but it will set you free. Your morning does not begin when you open your eyes. It begins with the first choice you make after you wake up. And for many of you, that choice is not really a choice at all. It's a reflex. Your hand goes straight to the phone before your soul has even said good morning. I want you to imagine this with me. Your mind is still soft. Your nervous system is just rising from sleep. Your heart hasn't had a chance to feel the day yet. And suddenly you throw open the door and invite in the whole world. Messages, news, other people's moods, problems that are not yours, images you didn't ask for, all of it rushes in before you have even taken one conscious breath. Of course you feel scattered. Of course you feel behind. Of course you feel like you are already late before you've even left the bed. You are starting your day in everyone else's life, not your own. When you grab the phone the moment you open your eyes, your brain is pulled into their world before it can return to your body. Instead of asking, how do I feel? You're asking, what's happening out there? You begin the day in reaction, not in choice. The system goes from peaceful sleep to alertness with no bridge of kindness in between. Your nervous system moves into a subtle emergency mode. What do I have to respond to? Who needs me? What did I miss? Deep down, that little rush of stimulation feels like safety for a moment. You feel less alone, less empty, less uncertain, but it is a fragile safety. It is like drinking coffee on an empty stomach. It wakes you up and depletes you at the same time. Underneath this habit, there is something so tender, a fear of missing out, a fear of emptiness, a fear of being alone with yourself for those first few seconds of the day. You might not say that out loud, but your body knows it. You may be afraid that if you don't check immediately, something terrible will happen, or you will be behind, or you will feel that little hollow space in your chest that you have been avoiding for a very long time. My darling, your fear of being with yourself is the real exhaustion. The phone gives you a tiny illusion of control. If I see everything, I can stay safe. But safety does not come from seeing everything. Safety comes from feeling at home in your own being. Before the world asks you for anything, I want you to ask yourself for one thing: presence. Not perfection, not a 5-hour routine, not a list of achievements, just presence. So let me offer you a new way. Not a punishment, not a rigid rule, but a soft replacement I call a warm start ritual. It takes 2 minutes. You can do this. When you wake up, before your hand reaches for anything, just pause. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, out loud if you can, "Good morning, sweetheart." Say it like you would say it to a child you adore. Your body has carried you through another night. Your heart has beaten every single second without you telling it to. It deserves a greeting. Then, without rushing, look around and gently name 3 things you see: the light on the wall, a plant, your pillow, the sky outside the window. This tells your brain, we are here. We are in this room. We are in this moment. Next, softly touch 3 points on your body, maybe your shoulders, your arms, your legs. Just a little tap or gentle squeeze, as if you are saying, I'm here with you. Finally, take 3 slow, long exhales. Not dramatic, not forced, just a little longer than usual, as if you are sighing out the night. Only after that, my dear, you may pick up the phone if you need to. The difference is subtle but powerful. You are no longer opening your eyes into the phone. You are opening your eyes into yourself first. You have already told your nervous system, I am here. I am safe. This is my day. When you practice this, day after day, you begin to feel a shift. You don't wake up chasing the world. You wake up meeting yourself. And you will notice that you are just a bit less reactive, a bit less fragile, a bit more grounded when you finally see that first message. You have chosen your inner world first, outer world second. Let's anchor that together. I choose my mind first. Say it quietly with me 3 times. I choose my mind first. I choose my mind first. I choose my mind first. Every time you do this, you are reteaching your brain that you, your own consciousness, are the true home of your life. Now let's talk about a habit that is even more hidden. The one that doesn't happen in your hand, it happens in your head. Habit number 2 is beginning your day with what I like to call ANTs, automatic negative thoughts. This might sound small, but it shapes the entire climate of your mind. You open your eyes and, before you move a muscle, a familiar inner voice says, you didn't do enough yesterday. Today is going to be hard. You look exhausted. You're already behind. These little sentences crawl into your mind like tiny ants, one after another. Something will go wrong. I can't handle this. Nobody really cares. And if you do not see them for what they are, they will build a nest and stay all day. Automatic negative thoughts are not proof that something is wrong with you. They are simply the brain's old habit of interpreting everything in the heaviest way possible. They drain you because they keep your whole nervous system in a subtle state of emergency. Instead of waking up with curiosity, what will this day be like? You wake up with dread. How will I survive this day? Your body cannot tell the difference between a real tiger in the room and a thought that says, today is going to be a disaster. It will tighten your chest, squeeze your stomach, and narrow your breathing just the same. Over months and years, this constant morning alarm can contribute to deeper sadness and exhaustion. We know from many observations that chronic depression is linked with changes in how the brain functions over time. Not to scare you, but to show you that caring for your thoughts is a way of caring for your brain. You deserve that care. The most important thing I want you to hear is this. These thoughts are not the voice of truth. They are the echo of an old environment. Maybe you grew up around criticism, where people pointed out what was wrong before they acknowledged what was right. Maybe you learned that if you are hard on yourself first, others can't hurt you as much. Maybe no one ever taught you that you can speak kindly to yourself. So now, without meaning to, you wake up and your mind runs an old program. Anticipate danger, find the flaw, prepare for attack. Of course you feel tired. Of course joy has a hard time landing in you. There is nothing mysteriously wrong with you. There is an old script running, and you are powerful enough to change it. I like to give you simple tools, because simple tools are the ones you will actually use. For these ANTs, I want you to remember a 3-step practice. Name it, love it, shift it. First, name it. The moment you notice a heavy sentence in your mind, don't merge with it. Don't say, I am a failure. Say, oh, this is a thought that says, I am a failure. Or even more playfully, ah, here is one of those ANTs. You have moved from being inside the thought to observing it. Already, its grip loosens. Second, love it. This may sound strange. Why would I love a negative thought? Because behind every harsh thought is a frightened part of you trying to keep you safe. So you can say, gently, thank you for trying to protect me. You don't have to work so hard now. I am here. That tenderness transforms the energy of the thought. You are no longer at war with your own mind. Then we shift it. Shifting is not pretending everything is perfect, and it is not screaming affirmations you don't believe. Shifting is choosing a thought that feels slightly kinder, slightly more open, and repeating it enough that your nervous system can relax around it. Instead of, I'm going to ruin this day, you might say, I'm learning how to care for myself today. Instead of, I never do anything right, you could say, I'm willing to see what I'm doing well. Instead of everything is wrong, you whisper, all is well. I am safe in this moment. Not because every detail of your life is fixed, but because in this breath, right here, you can feel the bed beneath you, the air in your lungs, the simple reality that you are alive and able to choose again. You and I are not erasing every negative thought forever. That is not necessary. Thoughts come and go like clouds. What we are doing is changing the relationship you have with them. Instead of believing every harsh sentence as if it were a sacred prophecy, you start treating it as an old habit you can gently redirect. Over time, your brain learns that the new thoughts, "I'm learning, I'm willing, all is well," are the ones you mean now. It will begin to send those first in the morning. Imagine opening your eyes and hearing, not, "You're already behind," but, "Today I am willing to treat myself more kindly." That is possible for you. So when you wake up tomorrow and the ANTs start marching in, "This will be awful. You can't handle this. You're not enough." I want you to pause, breathe, and practice. Name it. "This is an old thought. Love it. Thank you for trying to protect me." Shift it. "These are old thoughts. I choose new ones." Let's say that together now, slowly, 3 times. These are old thoughts. I choose new ones. These are old thoughts. I choose new ones. These are old thoughts. I choose new ones. Each repetition is like opening a window in a stuffy room. A little more light, a little more air, a little more space for peace. With just these 2 changes, putting your mind before your phone and meeting your ANTs with awareness and love, you begin to reclaim your mornings as sacred, gentle, and yours. And as you keep listening, we will go on to the other habits I lovingly laid down, so that you too can choose peace early and let it color your whole day. When you start changing your thoughts, my dear, something beautiful begins to happen. You also start seeing your habits differently. You realize they are not proof that you are broken. They are simply old ways your mind and body learn to cope. So let's look at another morning habit that quietly drains you, one you may not even notice because the world praises it: rushing. Many of you wake up and it's as if an invisible whistle blows in your head. Go, hurry, you're late. You haven't even sat up fully and already your breath is shallow, your shoulders are tense, your mind is racing through 10 tasks at once. You call it being productive, but your body experiences it as danger. When you rush in the very first minutes of the day, your nervous system receives a very clear message. We are not safe. We don't have enough time. We must hurry or something terrible will happen. That message does not just last for a few seconds. It colors your entire morning. Think of how often you have told yourself, "If I slow down, I will fail. If I take a moment, I will fall behind." Somewhere along the way, you made a quiet agreement with fear that faster means safer. Perhaps you grew up in a home where you were praised for always doing more, always moving, always helping. Perhaps you worked in environments where pausing was called laziness. So now you open your eyes and your whole system snaps into rush mode, as if there is a fire to put out. You skip checking in with your body. You ignore the stiffness in your neck, the dryness in your throat, the heaviness in your chest. You fly past yourself to get to the day. And my dear, when you ignore your body does not disappear. It waits. It waits and waits until by afternoon or evening it takes back what you borrowed in the morning. through fatigue, irritability, headaches, brain fog, or that sense of being done with everything long before the day is done with you. Underneath this constant rushing is not a bad person. Underneath is a belief: if I am not fast, I am failing. You may not say those words out loud, but feel into them for a moment and see if there is a little truth there. Do you judge yourself when you move slowly? Do you feel guilty if you make a gentle morning instead of a rushed one? Do you feel behind if you are not already answering messages within minutes of waking? This is an old standard you inherited, and I want to offer you a new one. Your worth is not measured in speed. It is expressed in presence. When you are present, you do not become less effective. You become kinder, wiser, more accurate, more aligned. Rushing is not power. Rushing is fear wearing a busy mask. So instead of commanding yourself, hurry up, get going, prove yourself, I want to invite you into a very simple replacement, a practice I call one loving thing first. It is small and it is powerful. Before you do anything for anyone else, before you answer a message, before you mentally open your to-do list, choose one loving action and give it to yourself with full attention. It might be taking a few slow sips of water and feeling it travel down your throat, thanking your body for working all night while you slept. It might be opening the curtains and letting the light in, noticing the sky, even if it's gray, even if it's raining, and saying, "This is my new day." It might be walking slowly to the sink and washing your face in a way that feels like a blessing, not just a quick scrub. It could be a gentle shoulder stretch, rolling your shoulders back, letting them drop, as if you are taking off a backpack of worries you don't need to carry yet. The key is not what you choose. The key is how you do it. You do it as if you are caring for a precious little one who has just woken up and is still tender. You wouldn't yank a child out of bed and shout, "We're late! Hurry! Hurry! Hurry!" You would stroke their hair, speak softly, help them come into the day. I want you to start talking to yourself in the same way. You might even whisper, "Good morning, my love." We will go slowly, one thing at a time. When you practice one loving thing first, you are teaching your nervous system a new message. We are not in danger. We have enough time to breathe. We have enough time to be kind. From that place, you can still move, you can still work, you can still meet your responsibilities, but you are coming from peace, not panic. You don't have to redesign your whole schedule tomorrow. You don't have to suddenly become a different person. Just begin with this one sentence, repeated softly, like a friend taking your hand. I do one loving thing at a time. Say it with me, slowly, and let it settle into your body. I do one loving thing at a time. Again, I do one loving thing at a time. And once more, I do one loving thing at a time. Feel how different that is from, I have to do everything right now. One opens your chest, the other closes it. One invites your soul into the day, the other drags your body around like luggage. You deserve the gentler way. Now, let's look at another habit that can quietly steal your peace. Going straight for quick rewards as soon as you wake up. The coffee you slam back before you've had a sip of water. The sugary breakfast that gives you a spike, then a crash. The news feed that fills your mind with the world's fear. The endless scroll that gives you 10 seconds of distraction at the price of an anxious, restless mind. There is nothing evil about coffee, sugar, or a little bit of news. There is nothing inherently wrong with enjoying your phone. But I want you to notice why you reach for them and how you feel afterward. Many times you think you are craving stimulation when what you really crave is reassurance. You're not actually asking, "Wake me up." You're asking, "Tell me I'm okay. Tell me I'm not alone. Tell me I can handle today." And my dear, a screen or a stimulant can only whisper that for a moment. Then it vanishes and leaves you wanting more. This is how a habit loop strengthens. The trigger might be a feeling of emptiness or slight dread, or the simple discomfort of waking up. The behavior is automatic. Pour the extra strong coffee with no food, open the news app, scroll through dramatic headlines, click into social media, look for something shocking or exciting to jolt you. For a brief moment, you feel less empty, less hazy. You get a hit of something is happening, which feels better than the quiet uncertainty inside. That is the reward, temporary relief. Your brain says, "Oh, this works," and stores it as a pattern. The next morning, you don't even think, you just do it again. But the true cost shows up a bit later. Jitteriness, anxiety, irritability, difficulty focusing, a feeling that the world is already too much before the day has properly started. You have given your precious morning to a tiny burst of stimulation instead of a steady, deep sense of support. I want you to understand that you have never been weak for doing this. You have been resourceful. You found something that gave you a quick sense of comfort. The problem is not that you wanted comfort. The problem is that you were taught only harsh ways to get it. What if we honored the part of you that wants soothing and gave it something better? When the craving rises for the extra sugar, the extra scroll, the extra hit of drama, we are not going to shame it. We are going to become curious. I call this the inner scientist practice. Instead of reacting, you observe. When you feel that impulse, "I need this right now or I can't cope," pause for a few seconds and imagine you are a gentle scientist studying your own experience, not judging it. Ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? Maybe your chest feels tight, your stomach feels hollow, your hands fidget, your jaw clenches. Name it softly. There is a tightness in my chest. There is a buzzing in my hands. There is a pull toward the kitchen or the phone. You are not saying, "This is bad." You are saying, "This is interesting." Curiosity is a kind of love. It says, "I am willing to be with you long enough to understand you." Then just breathe and watch what happens to the sensation. Very often, you will notice that it rises, peaks, and then softens, just like a wave. You may find that after 30 seconds or 1 minute of observing, the craving is already less sharp. You might still decide to have the coffee or check the phone, but now you are choosing from awareness, not compulsion. That difference is profoundly healing. In that moment of observation, you are giving yourself a new reward. Instead of only chasing the quick hit of stimulation, You are experiencing something far deeper: calm, self-trust, the realization, I can feel this urge, and I do not have to obey it immediately. That is real power. Every time you practice your inner scientist, you teach your brain that there is another kind of pleasure available, the pleasure of self-mastery, of staying with yourself, of proving that emotion does not control you. And the more your brain begins to like this new reward, the less it will scream for the old one. You might even discover that you enjoy your coffee more when you are not using it to run away from yourself, but to accompany yourself. You do not have to give up all your morning comforts. You do not have to become a saint. You simply begin by shortening the distance between the craving and your awareness. Ah, here is the urge. Where do I feel it? What happens if I breathe with it? Sometimes you will still eat the sweet thing, still pour the third cup, still scroll. That is all right. We are not chasing perfection here. We are building a kinder relationship to your inner world. You might say to yourself, this time I chose the old way. Next time I will pause a little longer. No drama, no catastrophe, just learning. Remember, you are not here to punish yourself into becoming a new person. You are here to love yourself into becoming a truer person. Let's anchor this new way with a simple affirmation that speaks directly to the heart of the craving. The next time the urge rises to grab, to gulp, to scroll, I want you to gently place a hand on your body and whisper, I can feel this and still be safe. Say it with me now, slowly. I can feel this and still be safe. Again, a little deeper. I can feel this and still be safe. And once more, so your nervous system really hears you. I can feel this and still be safe. You are telling the little child inside you, you don't have to escape every uncomfortable feeling. I am here with you. We can sit in this boat together while the wave passes. As you begin to soften your rushing with one loving thing first and meet your cravings with the inner scientist practice, your mornings become something entirely different. They stop being a battlefield and begin to feel like a gentle doorway. You enter your day with more breath, more space, more choice. You may still have the same responsibilities, the same job, the same family, the same challenges, but you are different. You are less pulled, less pushed, less dragged around by old patterns. And we are not finished yet, my dear. There is one more habit I want to talk about with you, and a beautiful 7-minute reset to help you reclaim your mornings with love. So stay with me. Your peace is worth these few more minutes of attention. There is one more habit I want to sit with you on, my dear, and it might be the quietest but the sharpest of them all. The way you talk to yourself in your own mind. You may not slam doors or shout at yourself out loud, but listen to the tone of that inner voice when you wake up. Is it gentle? Or does it sound like a boss who is never satisfied, a supervisor who is always a little disappointed, a judge looking down from a high bench? You should have gotten up earlier. You must not waste time. You should already have done more. You have to fix this, fix that, fix yourself. When your feet haven't even touched the floor and your mind is already turned into a courtroom, of course you feel tired. Of course you feel heavy. Your day hasn't begun, and yet you have already been cross-examined. Should and must are not neutral words. They carry weight. They carry judgment. They turn your morning from a fresh beginning into a list of accusations. Think of how it feels in your body when you say, "I should," and feel into the subtle tightness that follows. The shoulders creep up a little, the chest tightens, the breath becomes shallow. It is as if some invisible authority is standing over you with a clipboard, making notes about all the ways you are not measuring up. Many of you learned this tone from very real people in your past. Parents who were anxious, teachers who were overwhelmed, bosses who were under pressure. They may have believed that harshness creates responsibility. But what it really creates is fear, and fear is a terrible foundation for a peaceful, creative mind. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, if you spoke to a dear friend the way you speak to yourself in the morning. You should be better. You must not feel that. You have to get everything done perfectly today. Would that friend feel inspired? Or would they feel small? Would they feel supported? Or would they feel like they can never win? And yet, you have lived with this voice so long that you call it normal. You might even call it motivating. But your body tells the truth. The knot in your stomach, the tightness in your neck, the headache by midday, these are not signs of healthy motivation. They are the signs of a heart that is tired of being on trial. When you fill your morning with should and must, you remove the sense of choice, and your mind needs to feel that it has some freedom in order to focus, to create, to care. When everything is framed as an obligation, I have to answer them. I have to prove myself. I must push through. Your nervous system quietly moves into survival mode. In survival mode, your brain doesn't ask, "What would be loving?" It asks, "What will stop me from being punished?" That is why you procrastinate. That is why you freeze. That is why you sometimes rebel and do nothing at all. You are not lazy. You are tired of being forced. Inside every must, there is a little part of you saying, "But what if I don't want to?" That part of you deserves to be heard, not bullied into silence. So, we are going to do something very simple and very profound. We are going to start changing the language. You see, language is how you aim your energy. If you change the words, you begin to change the way your whole system responds. One of my favorite shifts is from "I have to" "I choose to." Feel the difference with me. I have to go to work. Notice the slump in your energy, the burden. Now try. I choose to go to work today because, and finish the sentence with the real reason. Because I want to support myself, because I care about my clients, because I'm building something. Suddenly, you are not a prisoner. You are a participant. Your body feels that difference. Another beautiful shift is from "I should" to "it would feel supportive if," instead of "I should exercise." Try. It would feel supportive if I move my body a little today. Instead of "I should stop scrolling." Try. It would feel supportive if I put my phone down for a few minutes and breathe. Do you feel how the second version leaves room for kindness? It does not erase responsibility. It simply removes the whip. You are still allowed to choose discipline. You are still allowed to do hard things, but you are doing them with yourself, not against yourself. And that makes all the difference in whether a habit can last. I would like you to begin a very gentle practice tomorrow morning. Think of it as becoming your own inner translator. When you catch a have to, you pause and translate it into I choose to or I choose not to. When you hear a should, you pause and translate it into it would feel supportive if or right now. What would truly support me is this might feel awkward at first, like learning a new language. That is all right. You can even smile at yourself and say, oh look, I just spoke in old boss's language. Let me try that again in loving mentor language. A little humor goes a long way. When you wake up and notice your mind already listing everything you must do, place your hand on your heart and take a slow, deep breath. Let your shoulders drop, soften your jaw, and whisper to yourself, darling, we will choose our way through today, not force our way. Then pick just one sentence and rephrase it. Perhaps I have to make breakfast for the children becomes I choose to make breakfast because I love nourishing them and I will keep it simple. Or I must not waste time becomes it would feel supportive if I focus on one thing at a time. You don't need to correct every thought, just one or two, to begin letting your nervous system know that a new kind of leadership is in town. Remember, the voice in your head is not a fixed personality, it is a habit. And just like any habit, it can be retrained with repetition and feeling. Your inner boss is not evil, it is simply frightened. It believes that if it lets you off the hook, everything will fall apart. You can talk to this part of you gently. Thank you for trying to keep me on track. You've worked very hard for many years, but the way you speak to me makes me tense and small. I am trying a new way now, a way that honors me and still cares about my life. You can rest a little. As you do this, you are not losing control. You are gaining collaboration with yourself. Over time, as your morning language softens, something beautiful begins to happen. You notice that you get more done, not less. You notice that you can stay with tasks longer because you are not burning energy fighting yourself. You notice that you make fewer harsh mistakes because you are not rushing from a place of panic. Peace becomes your starting point, not a reward you chase at the end of an exhausting day. And you begin to trust yourself again, because you are no longer waking up and throwing yourself into a courtroom of should and must. You are waking up and meeting yourself like a beloved companion. Let's seal this new habit with an affirmation that can become your morning anchor. Place your hand on your heart if you can, and feel your breath moving in and out. Then say with me, slowly, as if you are writing these words into your own mind. I choose gently, I choose wisely. Once more, feeling the softness and the strength, I choose gently, I choose wisely. And one last time, letting it sink into your body, I choose gently, I choose wisely. This is who you are becoming, someone who still shows up, still takes responsibility, still moves forward, but does it in a way that nourishes the soul instead of draining it. You have just replaced a harsh morning habit with a loving one. You are learning to begin your day not with a verdict, but with a choice. And from here, my dear, we can build a completely different kind of morning. One where peace is not an accident, but a decision you make gently, as the very first gift you give yourself. If your mornings had a soundtrack, my dear, would it be soft violins or emergency sirens? I say that with a smile, because so many of us wake up as if the building is already on fire, and all we did was open our eyes. I want to give you a little 7-minute ritual that is not another thing to perform perfectly, but a soft doorway into peace. Think of it as a choose peace early moment, not a boot camp, a blessing. For the first few minutes, we are going to use the breath not as a test, but as a lullaby for your nervous system. People talk about 4-7-8 breathing and make it sound like a math exam. But I want to say to you, don't do it right. Just do it gently. If counting helps you, you may breathe in for a gentle count of 4, hold for a soft count of 7, and breathe out for a long, relaxed count of 8. If counting makes you tense, let it go. Simply notice your inhale. Let your exhale be a little longer, and let your body know there is no emergency. For these first 3 minutes, you are not allowed to fix the world, answer anyone, or solve anything. You are only invited to feel air moving in and out of your beautiful body. So, for minute 1, just notice, oh, here I am. There is my chest rising. There is my chest falling. Let your shoulders drop just a little more with every out-breath. Let your jaw soften. If you like the structure of 4-7-8, breathe in through your nose, 2, 3, 4. Pause and rest, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then breathe out slowly through your mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You might even sigh at the end, as if you are setting down a heavy bag you have carried all night. Minute 2, you keep going, and you add a little whisper. In, I receive. Out, I release. You are teaching your body that this day does not have to be fought. It can be received. Minute 3, you place a hand on your heart, if that feels good, and you say quietly, sweetheart, nothing is demanded of you in this breath. Just be here. When you give yourself 3 minutes of this, you are doing a little neural reset, telling the ancient parts of your brain, we are not under attack. We are waking up to life, not running from it. You'd be amazed how much easier it is to choose peaceful thoughts when your body has already been told all is well enough for us to breathe slowly. Now that your breath has softened, we step into minutes 4 and 5, what I like to call soft vision. We are not going to force a glittering, perfect day. Perfection is exhausting. Instead, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and simply picture a slightly softer version of the you who will walk through today. Not a movie star, not a superhero, just you with a little more gentleness. See yourself moving a little slower than your fear would like. Maybe you picture yourself in the kitchen, making coffee or tea. But instead of rushing, you are present with the sound of the water, the warmth of the cup in your hand. See yourself answering a message, not with panic, but with one slow breath. before you respond. Imagine one conversation where, instead of snapping, you pause, you feel your feet on the floor, and you say what you need to say with a kinder tone. Feel that version of you. Shoulders lower, eyes softer, voice rounder. You don't need to script every hour. You only need to taste the feeling. Ask yourself, what would one peaceful decision look like today? Perhaps it is choosing not to check your phone in the first 5 minutes. Perhaps it is saying, I'll get back to you, instead of forcing yourself to solve everything instantly. Perhaps it is taking a break before you are completely exhausted. Let your mind drift through just 1 or 2 small scenes of your day. You at your desk, you in traffic, you doing the dishes, and paint each scene with a thin, gentle layer of softness. You are not asking life to be perfect. You are letting your nervous system rehearse being calm in ordinary moments. That is all. No big manifestation ritual, just a human being seeing herself acting a little more lovingly toward herself. As you do this, you are saying to the universe, I am available for a gentler experience. I am willing to be the one who brings softness into this day. Then we come to minutes 6 and 7, what I call intention imprint. Morning is like wet cement, my dear. Whatever you carve into it now tends to set as the day goes on. We are not going to carve a long list of demands. We are going to press 3 loving intentions into this tender space. Place your hand on your heart again, feet on the floor if you can, and feel the weight of your body supported. Let your breath be natural now, and together, very slowly, we say, today I choose peace early. Once more, a little softer, as if you are talking to a child you adore. Today, I choose peace early. And one last time, letting the words sink down into your chest, into your belly, into your cells. Today, I choose peace early. Notice how it feels to decide that you don't have to earn peace at 11 p.m. as a prize. You can taste it right now before the day even starts running. Now we add the second intention. Still with one hand on your heart, or both hands if that feels comforting, say with me, all is well, I am safe. Your mind may object, listing things that are not well. Thank it and say it again. This time feeling only the safety of this exact moment in this exact room. All is well. I am safe. One more time, as a gift to your nervous system. All is well. I am safe. You are not claiming that every circumstance is perfect. You are affirming that in this breath you are held. There is a floor under you. There is air around you. There is life in you. When you can find safety in a single breath, you open the door for more peace to enter. And now the third imprint, like a little blessing you sprinkle over the hours ahead. I bless this day with love. Feel how your chest responds when you say that. Again, slowly, almost like a prayer. I bless this day with love. One last time, letting the words move out beyond you, into your home, your work, the people you will meet. I bless this day with love. You have just spent 7 minutes doing something very radical and very simple. You breathed, You softened your vision of yourself. You chose 3 gentle instructions for your mind. This is not about being good enough. This is about giving your brain and your heart a peaceful starting line instead of shoving them into the race half awake and terrified. And now we can close together by remembering why we are letting go of those 5 draining habits in the first place. You are not dropping your phone first thing, pausing the ANTs, slowing the rush, loosening your grip on quick rewards, and softening your inner language so that you can earn a gold star for perfect mornings. You are doing it so that you do not have to carry the weight of unnecessary chaos on top of everything else life may bring you. Peace is not a prize reserved for the best performers. Peace is your birthright, your home, the quiet room inside you where you can sit down and finally exhale. Every little change you make in the morning, one less harsh word to yourself, one more slow breath, one tiny pause before you reach for the old habit, is you choosing to live lighter, not harder. So as we finish, I want to leave you with 3 very simple choices you can make over and over. You can whisper them right now or write them down where you will see them when you wake up. Gently, together, we say, I choose peace. Once more, a little deeper, I choose peace. And one more time, as if you are promising it to your own heart, I choose peace. Now we soften it a bit and add, I choose softness. Again, feel how your body reacts. I choose softness. And one more time, inviting your whole day into that softness. I choose softness. Finally, the most important choice of all, I choose myself. Feel that land inside you. I choose myself. And once more, as a gentle vow for the day ahead, I choose myself. That is all you are really doing with this 7-minute practice and these new mornings, my dear. You are choosing peace. You are choosing softness. You are choosing you.